They called it the sound that could move armies. A weapon with no barrel, no trigger, no weight. Just echoes crafted into something terrifying. In 1943, the US Army realized it needed a new kind of power. Not firepower, mind power. A force that could make the enemy hear a battle that wasn't there. So they turned to the most unlikely recruits, artists and sound engineers. Men from Hollywood recording studios. Men who expected to design film audio, not manipulate the front lines of Europe. The army put them in uniform, and then handed them microphones. They began capturing the heartbeat of war, the metallic grind of Sherman treads, diesel engines fighting the weight of mud, mechanics hammering armor plates at midnight, officers whispering arguments over maps, boots shifting in wet soil as units formed up in the dark. Not noise, patterns, textures, the rhythm of a battlefield. They weren't building a soundtrack, they were building a weapon. To unleash this weapon, they needed machines powerful enough to shake valleys, speakers the size of refrigerators, amplifiers bolted onto jeeps, cables thick as a man's wrist snaking across the ground. At full power, their sound traveled more than 20 kilometers, through forests, across rivers, over villages drowned in fog. To a German scout listening from afar, it didn't sound like 4 Americans in a jeep. It sounded like an armored division rolling forward. And the deception had to be perfect. A real tank column doesn't move smoothly. Engines cough and choke. Treads skip on stone. Voices overlap in static. The Ghost Army didn't just imitate this chaos. They reconstructed it, layer upon layer, like composers building a symphony of steel and dirt, adjusting pitch to mimic weight, adding distortion to simulate distance, panning movement left to right until it felt alive. 4 men could create the illusion of 30 tanks. A single reel of tape could redraw an entire battlefield. And the Germans believed every echo. They heard convoys forming in the valleys, troops digging trenches for the night, engines warming for a dawn attack. None of it existed. Artillery officers fired at empty forests. Patrols were sent toward phantom battalions. Divisions repositioned, reacting to ghosts. Every night, the front lines shifted because of something Germany couldn't see, but couldn't ignore. But for the men running the speakers, the danger was immense. They operated ahead of real U.S. units, sometimes only a few kilometers from German patrols. If a single patrol discovered the truth, that these columns were nothing but sound, the entire unit would be wiped out. No tanks, no artillery, no backup, just artists holding speakers. Yet they went out, night after night, rolled their jeeps into position, and let the valleys tremble with the weight of an army that wasn't there. This wasn't theater. It wasn't performance. It was precision deception. A battlefield sculpted with sound. The Ghost Army didn't need to kill. They only needed the enemy to believe. Because on a battlefield, belief moves faster than bullets. And sometimes, belief is deadlier.